Do Warner Brothers want to continue to lose money? Because there are plans for a fifth Matrix. I guess there's more to tell. When Terminator Dark Fate flopped, there was no sequel planned to be made. Nobody asked. Maybe Warner Brothers should do the same thing with the Matrix franchise and leave it to video games and other kinds of media. The sad thing is, movies are not just movies, they are properties. When there is no more stories to tell from that universe, the company who owns those rights say, no, make more. The sad thing is, movies are not just movies, they are properties. When there are no more stories to tell from that universe, the company who owns those rights say, no, make more. Not all properties are created equal. Some can only go so far. Some properties are story-based or lore-based like Star Wars. The Matrix is story-based, so is Terminator. Some properties you don't have much story to tell. It's pretty much based on the action. You don't have to worry about sticking to any lore, like Transformers or Godzilla. The movies are revolving around the character or the concept. Godzilla is surrounding the character while the Transformers revolves around the concept of robots transforming into other machines. But you still shouldn't just do anything with just any property. There's rules set for almost each property. Each intellectual property should be treated with some level of merit. Some properties like Godzilla you don't have to be so uptight about. However, you're making a series, please stick with what was established in the previous movies. Be smart. It's just so ridiculous how adults are making all these additions that doesn't do any service with what have came before. Let Madam Web be a cautionary tale that you can't just pick up any character you want and expect to do well with it. Star Wars have one continuity. It doesn't have multiple continuities like Transformers that you can reset and do over again. And that is also to be applied with the Matrix. Just look at the Terminator franchise going off in different directions. Genesis tried to reset everything. Terminator Dark Fate just ignores Rise of the Machines, Salvation, and Genesis. All of that just to make another Skynet-like enemy. You did all of that just to make a duplicate. Really think about this. Terminator Genesis tries to reset everything, and Dark Fate is just Terminator Judgment Day all over again. The Matrix Resurrections had to make a new Matrix. Notice how all three of these movies have to go and make a new course of a plot because the story has already been finished. The heroes won, but we have to continue the story, even though there's no more story to tell. In the beginning of Genesis, the human resistance ran, but Skynet is just going to make a new timeline. For Dark Fate, Skynet was defeated, but Legion is the new enemy. It's just Skynet, but a lamer name. In Dark Fate, Skynet was defeated, but it was replaced by Legion. It's just Skynet with a lamer name. It dealt with humanity in a different way, but it wound up doing the same thing, making human killing machines just like Skynet. That ain't original. The Rev 9 is just the T800 and the T1000 fused together. It's just gimmicks at this point. Because there is nothing to really continue. They just want to expand it out, continue after the victory has been won. No, the hero can't enjoy victory. And that's the problem with a lot of these later sequels. The issue is heroes can't really enjoy their victories like that. Or the victory can't be long lasting. I've seen it in Star Wars, I've seen it in Terminator, I've seen it in The Matrix, I saw it in Transformers. If the hero dies, resurrect him. If the victory is won, there will come something that just undo the effect of the victory or the victory altogether. Matrix Resurrections had to create a new Matrix because Neo won and freed the original one. Agent Smith was defeated and destroyed. Everybody thought that was the end of Smith. But no, he's back. It's a lame tactic. Buzz off. And the movie didn't even have to bring Smith in. They just brought him in for no reason. Why must you bring back villains after they were defeated? No one can stay dead. It's all just empty. So yes, we need a Matrix 5. We need a Matrix sequel to the movie that we didn't need. We need more. I guess the only good thing I could say about the Matrix Resurrections is that we now have a chance to see Neo have an actual happy ending with Trinity. I guess that's the only bright side to it. I guess maybe the Matrix can finally end in a more sweeter tone. I know that it was bittersweet to have Trinity die and Neo die, but at least there was some sort of finality. But I guess no, let's just make a avenue where Neo might be able to finally rest with his love. That's the only positive thing I can take out of this. That together they can win, but it just undermines a lot from what has came before. When additions are added, it will alter with what you saw before. Your interpretation is going to change that and alter it. So now when you're looking at that particular movie, you know, well, it doesn't really matter because this might happen or this will happen in the future. That's the same issue with Star Wars. The Rise of Skywalker just tainting the perspective of Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Now, the Rise of Skywalker just do a lot more damage to the perspective of the movies that came prior than the Resurrections can ever do. And the fifth movie probably won't even do any more damage that the fourth movie already did. But this is just a small representation of the bigger picture that is happening with these Hollywood sequels. It's not needed. But I guess The Matrix 4 has opened up a sequel, but so did Dark Fate. However, The Matrix Resurrections is not as bad as Dark Fate when it comes to storytelling. But the difference between Dark Fate and the Resurrections is that at least the Resurrections respects its main character and don't just kill him off for somebody else. At least to some degree, there might be at least something else to tell. But with the Terminator franchise, what is else to tell? Once again, not all properties are created equal. But we didn't need a Matrix 4. Matrix Resurrections is the Terminator Genesis of the Matrix franchise. But the main thing is redesigning the problem, redesigning the enemy, redesigning the issue. In Genesis, the enemy was redesigned. In Dark Fate, it was a new enemy that is just like the old enemy. And in Resurrections, it's just a whole new Matrix. I don't think audiences like when a whole new issue comes about and just not do anything, but just hurts the impact of the victory that was earned by the hero. It feels uninspiring and tacked on, because I feel like it's just a knockoff. It's not no grand step. And if people already had feelings about the second, third movie, and then they have much harsher feelings for the fourth movie, why would people want to spend money on a fifth movie? Like I said before, it might have something to tell, but please, may this be the last Matrix movie. Stop forcing sequels and just finish the stinking story. Not everything has to be a trilogy. Look at the Terminator movies. Some people believe that there are only two Terminator movies. The first one and Judgment Day. And to really think about it, had they not removed the original ending to Terminator, it would have been, as such, a actual official duology. The milking of these franchises has to stop. And most people are just tired of old franchises coming back because the franchises are also powered by the actors. And do you really think these actors want to keep doing these franchises? They want to move on from that. Indiana Jones should not have had a Dial of Destiny. You having an elderly man play a very physical, taxing role. What is happening? A lot of these properties are just being abused. This is Lights 126 saying to all of one.